real quick, I want to go over some things that you will need in order for you to get this battery housing open. For me, I cut it on both ends because it was easier for me to get to it. So this is what my little saw looks like. The reason I use this is because I actually don't have a what is it called, a Dremel, or like a saw or a saw or an angle grinder. I don't have any of that, but what I do have is a DeWalt drill gun. And so what I did was I got on YouTube and, you know, I looked some stuff up to see, you know, if there was a way I can cut using a drill gun. And basically what I did was came up and somehow I put up a video, and this is what it mentioned for me to do in order for me to, you know, actually get this thing to cut steel or whatever. So things you will need is a nut and washer bolt assortment. So now when you open this, you're gonna have a variety of screws and bolts and washers. Right here you can see the sizes. It says 5 pieces, but to me it looks more like 25 to 30 pieces, so that must be like a typo. Then you have 50 pieces here, 20 and then 30. Your washers, your bolts, just tells you the sizes and the amount that's in there. So what I used is the longest bolt, and I recommend doing that because it gives you so much more play to work with when you're cutting whatever you're gonna cut. So you're gonna use one of these. You're gonna take one of these bolts. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this one apart. That way you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this one in place. At the same time, I'm gonna unscrew it on this end. Okay, there we go. So I got it to loosen up. So you're gonna unscrew your bolt. So as you can see right here, this is what I used literally to hold this pad on. It's, you know, I used 2 washers because this assortment pack did not have the size I actually needed, and I had actually already bought the part. So I was like, well, you know what, I have changed land all inside my couches. Yeah, I just found 2 little nickels. You can even use quarters. Basically what you want to do is cover the outer ring. That way, you know, it'll hold it in place. That's what the whole purpose is, to hold this in place. Also, this right here is the Arbor. The Arbor is the diameter of this hole here, and it is a 5/8. Also, it's called a cutoff wheel. Name brand is Warrior. Comes in a 10 pack. Right here it'll tell you what it cuts through: steel and stainless. So this did it for me, man. I used 2 of them. The first one kind of burned through. The second one did the job. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back together. That way you can see how I do it. You're gonna put your washer on top first. Then your screw. On the back end, you're gonna do the same thing. Just put your washer at the end. Get your little bolt, put that on. So from here, you just want to center this out. If not, your wheel's going to be spinning all crazy, and you know, it's not going to cut like it should. So what you want to do is center this out as straight as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I mean, the closer you get it, the better cut you'll get. So that's straight enough. So from here, I'm just go ahead and tighten this back up. So right there, as long as it's tight enough, this will hold in place to where you can put it down, grab your second wrench, hold this one in place, make sure that's tight enough, make sure there's no play in your wrench, or else you're going to cause a slip. Then basically you're just going to tighten it back up. Remember, left is loose, right is tight. That's that, man. You just tighten it up really good. It's not gonna go anywhere. Put this on my drill gun, that way you guys can have an idea of how this goes. So you're just gonna tighten this up. That's what that looks like. This will cut straight through the metal battery housing. Like I said, it's pointless in trying to get it to slide out. I literally tried everything. Had a long screwdriver. I dug out as much as putty as I can. And I wasted my time because that's really pointless. And I say that because there's putty all throughout the inside of the battery housing. So, I mean, if you can get it to open up like that, y'all let me know how y'all did it. That way I can take cues off of how you did it. So yeah, you'll need a pack of these, 2 wrenches, or maybe even the sockets will help. Your cutoff wheels. This is a 10-pack, 4 inches in length. This is called the Arbor, and it's a 5/8, so make sure you get that the right size. Also make sure that it cuts through steel and stainless. Some of them say different things like wood or plastic, so just be sure you get the right deal. Now for here is the charger ports. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Right here is your average charging port, 36 volt, typical battery. This one, on the other hand, is an 84 volt, 3 amp charger. Now this is the one that I use on my Bird 2 scooter, which is running on 72 volts, 2 battery packs. Now when you buy your charger, you're obviously gonna have to do something like this. You're gonna have to cut its wiring, and from an old Bird scooter, what you're gonna do is clip off the charging port part. The size of this is an 8mm, so that's something to keep in mind as well. This also fits the new Bird scooter, the es-400a. So as you can see, this is the old charger. Where's that? Here it is, right here. So this is your old charger. This has got to come off. All right, now I'm gonna bring back this charger. As you can see, that's what I did. All I did was clipped one of the old connections and re-soldered it to my new charger. I just hardwired it and put some solder on it, some heat shrink and tape, and that was it. From there, your scooter will charge, or you can go through different websites and you might be able to find a charger, man, but this is one of the fastest way to go if you don't want to wait. And yeah, that's it.